Hey, welcome back, and thank you for joining me here at the Ziggy Zone. Week 3 definitely proved to be better than week 2. I am redeemed. Only miscalled 4, though we should really say that's 3 because I sort of knew the 49ers were going to win, but as a faithful, I always have to go with them, and because I'm literally hoping, praying, and being faithful that they'll win. So yeah, the other 3, they make sense. So week 3 in the books, on to week 4. This week 4 is actually really interesting or exciting. I'm hoping that these are some good games, and I hope I can watch as many as possible. So on Thursday, the Baltimore Ravens will take on the Pittsburgh Steelers in Pittsburgh. And I would have, under normal circumstances, have given this win easily to the Steelers because Baltimore, I believe they're like 0-3. I don't know what's going on with those guys. And Baltimore and Pittsburgh are division rivals, and they're always going at it at some point in the playoffs. So I would have given it to the Steelers. However, the clock, Big Ben, got injured last week. So, yeah, I don't know what the Steelers have. So I'm going to go with Ravens. Hopefully they'll get their first win next week. It'll be good for them to get that win. So that's who we're going with on Thursday. Sunday, the New York Jets will be down in Miami to take on the Dolphins. And this one was a toss-up. I really couldn't, the Jets are 2-1, Dolphins are 1-2. And the Dolphins lost to the Jaguars, which isn't a very good thing. But overall, I felt more comfortable with going with Miami, and if for no other reason, their uniform and their colors definitely look better than the New York Jets. I just don't like the Jets. That forest green and white, it just doesn't work for me. Okay. So then the next game, speaking of Florida, a Florida team, the Jacksonville Jaguars will be traveling north to take on the Indianapolis Colts. And yeah, the Colts, Andrew Luck may have run out of it. Those guys can't get it together. And, as vulnerable as a team Indianapolis is, I think the Jaguars, they can exploit that. And, it's out on a whim, but I'm going to give that win to Jacksonville. I think it would be nice for them to have 2 wins for the season and to do it so early on in the season. The next game was difficult. The New York Giants versus the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo, I've always said that Buffalo, they start their season strong. But, with a coach like Rex Ryan, right? Rex Ryan. Rob Ryan is the brother down in New Orleans. I think they have something cooking right there. I really do. It's, Tom Coughlin versus Rex Ryan. And, the Bills, I have to side with the Bills. I don't know what's going on with the Giants. I don't know what's going on with them. It's going to be a close game, I imagine. But if I'm right, the Bills will inch out the win. Next, we have division rivals, the Carolina Panthers versus the Tampa Bay Bucks. And yeah, Carolina Panthers, nothing much to see there. And then the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Washington Redskins. I underestimated the Redskins this year. Philly won their first game last week. I'm going to side with Philly for absolutely no particular reason. It just, it just seems right. Who knows? And then we have the Raiders in Chicago taking on the Bears, and the Bears are in, I don't know if they're calling their season early or what, but they just traded for Jared Allen, or they just traded Jared Allen. They didn't trade for him, they just traded him. And then there's also talks of them also trading away some of their other key veterans. So I'm not sure if Chicago's, they're laying down early in the season. It's only week 4. I hope that's not what they're doing. There's still a chance, maybe not. Who knows? Who knows? But nevertheless, I said that the Raiders would have a good season, and I think it's a no-brainer. Jay Cutler's out, as if that really means anything. But it sounds nice to say. Uh, yeah, the Raiders, they'll win, good, and that's good for those guys. Uh, the Houston Texans will be traveling over to Atlanta to take on the Falcons. And I think that the Texans will make it an interesting competition, but ultimately the Falcons will win that one. And then the Kansas City Chiefs will be traveling north to take on the Cincinnati Bengals. And the Cincinnati Bengals are 3-0. Andy Dalton's getting it done for those guys. AJ Green, I think he came back after his stuff from last season. He had a really good game last week. And while I initially wanted to side with the Bengals, I realized that the Chiefs had the first 3 games the Chiefs played this season were of more challenging teams. The Bengals won games they should have won, right? Those are games you should win. So the Bengals took care of business. I think the Chiefs, they've definitely had more challenging teams to go against. And they made those competitions, they made them really close. So I think that the Chiefs will square their season at 2-2 by taking the Cincinnati Bengals. Next, you have the Cleveland Browns at the San Diego Chargers. Yeah, you're just going to say, I hear Tupac playing in my head right now with the California Love. So we're just going to make this one easy for you all and just go with the Chargers. It makes that much sense. The next game, Green Bay Packers and longtime rivals, the 49ers. And someone please call Erica Campbell because the 49ers need a little more Jesus. A whole lot more Jesus. And I'm a faithful, so I'm going to give the win to the 49ers because that is what they do. In the event they are not victorious, we can't say that we're surprised. But Green Bay versus the Niners in Santa Clara, we're going to say the Niners. Pray for me. Let's call Erica Campbell. Let's call Leandra Johnson, Jesus. We need to just do all of that. Pray. Get your prayer warriors out. You prayer warriors, come on out and send your good vibes our way. That's unless you're a cheesehead. You probably will be wanting something else to happen. Then the Rams will be taking on the Cardinals. And the Cardinals, they're clicking on all cylinders. And so I think that will be a good game to watch. I'm not sure how close it would be. The Rams game last week was really close against the Pittsburgh Steelers. It was like 12-6. Low scoring game. And Cardinals waxed the 49ers by 40. So I think the Rams will definitely slow things down. They're probably will make it a competition probably up until midway through the third quarter, and I have Arizona going on and taking the win. And then the Minnesota Vikings will be heading to Denver to take on the Broncos. And true to fashion, Peyton's just not going to win at home to the Vikings. I think that the Vikings, while they're a good team, they're definitely an inferior team compared to Peyton Manning and those guys over in Denver. And then the last game for Sunday night is the Dallas Cowboys and the New Orleans Saints. Both teams without their franchise quarterback. That's interesting. No Peyton. No, not no Peyton. Sean Payton's the coach. No Drew Brees and no Tony Romo. That makes things interesting. For the Cowboys, in addition to not having any Tony Romo, Dez Bryant is out. They still have Jason Witten. The Saints are the Saints. They come marching in. I think that the Saints going into week 4 probably has a not stronger team, but I think they will be able to handle the loss of their quarterback a little bit better. So I'm going to give New Orleans their first win of the season against the Cowboys. Who knows? And then for Monday night action, we have the Detroit Lions at the Seattle Seahawks. And yeah, the Seahawks will win. They'll square their season. It'll be 2-2. It's nothing much there really to talk about. The Lions are in rebuild mode. That's where they are. I guess they still do have Matthew Stafford and Megatron, but yeah, not happening. Sorry. So that was my week 4 predictions. Take your notes, see how well I did, see what you said compared to what I said, and be sure to share this video, leave a comment, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I want to hear from you. All right, until next week. Ciao.